Good morning! I had to be at work by 6:45 in the morning so I could pick up my assigned route. I would normally work a 10-hour shift, Thursday through Sunday, which for the record is 4 days on and 3 days off. There are multiple driving companies under the Amazon delivery umbrella, and I've been working there for at least 2 months, up until the point it happened. Parking had changed since the first day I worked there. We used to park at a place called Offsite that was less than 3 minutes away from the main building. Our dispatcher would be in the parking lot assigning van keys with routes to drivers. This was during winter, so while the dispatcher was in the warm van, the drivers would line up outside next to the van, in the cold. Fast forward, apparently that's not where we were allowed to park anymore. The new drivers parking moved to the side of the main building. I didn't know that we were kicked off of this location at first because I was never updated about the new parking situation. So it was awkward once when I arrived at Offsite and no one was there. And that's how I discovered we had to park somewhere else now. So we've been parking at the new location for about a month. It was good because we were now next to the main building, but the downside was the amount of spaces were limited and there were times when you get blocked in by vans or other employees' vehicles. Periodically, I would find a spot where I didn't have to worry about being blocked in. It was in front of a giant shipping crate. Sometimes other cars would get to it first, but on seemingly perfect days, I would beat them all to it. On this particular brilliant Thursday, when I came back from my 3-day break, parking was crowded. Life was so sweet this day, however, because the perfect spot in front of the crate was wide open, which, according to past experience when I parked there, was the beginning of an easy, breezy, beautiful workday. It been raining constantly for the past couple of weeks, so it was no surprise that it was drizzling that morning. It was pretty dark being that I get to work an hour before the sun rises, as I mentioned, plus it was a bit cold. So the goal was to park quickly, then run inside the building to warm up. I was handed my route, I inspected my van, I checked my packages, hopped in, then went straight to the gas station. Oh, the gas station situation sucked, by the way. We had to wait in line to fill up. There was 3 or 4 vans to 1 gas card. This was called the buddy system. While I waited, a driver randomly came up to me and started talking about some crap that happened to him on Monday. It was pretty vague, but I caught some of what he said. I can't believe my car got caught up with some people on Monday. I didn't want any problems, so I just paid to get my car out. I don't want to ruffle any feathers. I didn't know what he was talking about, so after I got my gas, I logged in my Amazon Flex app and went right to work. That day started out great, as I predicted. Things were moving fast. I had roughly over 215 packages to deliver, but the locations were close together. All of a sudden, I got a text message. I opened up my phone to a picture of my car with the message, "Who car?" under it. I responded quickly, "Quan's. That's me." I called the dispatcher immediately to find out what was going on. She then tells me that they're about to tow my car because I'm not supposed to park there. I told her, "Don't tow my car. I parked there several times before and wasn't informed about the spot being off limits." She then asked how far away was I. I told her 43 minutes and that I was hurrying back right then. She says, "Okay, then let them know you're on the way back to move your car." Yeah, I had to stop in the middle of my deliveries to rush back to the main building, which meant nothing. 5 minutes later, she calls me back and tells me the manager of the building proceeded to tow my car anyway, despite knowing that I stopped my deliveries and was rushing to move my car. The building manager claimed he towed it anyway because there was a sign saying no parking. Honestly, at this point, I was enraged. I was in the middle of my job, delivering packages 43 minutes away, and never saw a f***ing sign since I've been parking there for the last month. I arrived at the station and quickly parked my van. Instinctually, I ran to where my car was supposed to be parked. It wasn't there. I went inside the building and found my dispatcher. After asking her where my car was, she showed me a paper that had the location of a towing company. While trying to keep cool, I called the towing company. It was going to cost $175 to get my car back. So at this point, I had to update Erika on what was going on.
There was nothing worse than getting that phone call, especially when there was nothing I could do about it.
Yeah, well, after you broke things down to me, cough cough, I demanded to speak to the manager of the building, the great exec who was responsible for my current situation. Well, the gist of what I said was, he had no right towing an employee's car and how inconsiderate and inhumane of him to go through with it, even after being informed that I was speeding to move my car.
Oh, I'm sure that's what you said.
Maybe there was some strong language used to emphasize my point. Anywho, he was so condescending and said, there are no parking signs there. They've been there for days. We went outside to where my car once was. He then pointed towards the shipping crate. Apparently, this was adequate signage to inform people not to park in the spot or they'll be towed. Not to mention that today had been my first day back to work. They weren't there when I was working last week. Even if I humored these pieces of shit signs, who could see those in the dark on a dreary day? As I addressed that, he interrupts to say, well, the paper been up for days, so on your way back, when it was light out, you could have seen it. Huh? Then he eventually goes, I'm sorry, but there's nothing I can do about it. At most, I could take you to the tow place, but I can't give you money. If anything, you should talk to your dispatcher because I told them about it. That last mark got me thinking. I went to confront my manager, but she basically shrugged it off and said, oh yeah, you can't park there. I also found out later that day that the new off-site parking was 20 minutes away from the main building.
What?
I left work early, and that was the moment I realized that I was going to quit my job as an Amazon delivery driver. They towed my car and clearly didn't care. Hi guys, thank you for watching and I guess letting us vent. Make sure you share this video if you feel my pain. Also, follow us on Instagram and Twitter to see what we're working on. Remember, never work for anyone who doesn't value you as a human.
I guess Amazon won't be getting 5 stars?
Till next time.